Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forest coming to you with another pre-market analysis video. This morning, we're going to be looking at the USDCHF, also known as the Swiss franc. Okay. Now, before we get to breaking down this Forex pair, we have to state that this video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, but I don't know why you're here, which is to find good Forex content that can help improve your ability as a trader and put some more money in your pocket. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so before we get to breaking down the technical analysis, let's discuss what's been going on fundamentally, okay? Now, CHF, we had some very poor news come out the beginning of the week with its PPI. It actually dropped some, so that's not so good. And also, CHF is one of the major three European currencies, and we're dealing with the FUD, which is the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, with the entire European economy due to the war being fought on the European continent. But there is some possibility of stability because Ukraine and Russia have entered back into peace talks. So this is like the either second or third attempt to have a sit down with the peace talks, but this one is actually looking a lot more promising because I think Russia is being a lot more negotiable because I think at this stage they feel like they proved their point. Okay, so if the peace talks start to go well, we should see some strength start to pick up with the CHF and the respective the other major European currencies as well. Now, the USD is still fundamentally weak, suffering from inflation by the American economy. That's also being catalyzed by the hike in gas prices that's related to our ban on Russian oil around the world. The further increase in gas prices further increases our inflation because it puts more costs on businesses to be able to transport goods back and forth, which in turn they put those costs on the consumer. Okay, so we're going to have to see how these things start to play out. But then on the other hand of that, the Feds have been talking about increasing the interest rate to combat the inflation. And that talk has somewhat caused the USD to start to pick up some relevant strength. So we're going to have to see how these things kind of play out going into the rest of this trading week. And we do have some news dropping at 8:30 about the USD that's going to be very important, which is this PPI manufacturing. And excuse me, it's PPI and it's core PPI and the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. So we're going to have to see how these things play out to see if the USD will start to pick up some more strength, pick up some more steam. Okay, but for the most part, currently at this point, we're dealing with a battle of two weak currencies between the USD and the CHF, in which that the CHF is just much weaker than the USD. That is mainly due to even though both of them are facing similar economic woes, there's a war being fought in Europe and there's not one being fought in America. So one that's going to be weaker than the other if you got a lot of uncertainty in your physical land. All right, now let's look at this from a technical analysis standpoint. We bounced around two price points, eventually broke up. Like I said, that's just because the CHF is just much weaker than the USD. Okay, and we start to pick up to this price point here. All right, now it looks like we do have some retracement coming in, so let's see. Yeah, we do have some retracement coming in. Okay, because we got as high as here. Now we're starting to come down. So there's a couple options that can happen. We can come down as far as here before we start to go up. We can come down as far as here before we start to go up. Or we could range out in this area here before we start to go up. Or what could happen is if the USD news that come out is not in favor of the USD, we could see a significant drop down, pathetic push up range before we continue to go back down within our original range that we've been trading for, within the original range that's been happening for almost the past 45 to 60 days. Okay, so we'll go over the four options one more time. We may go down to this price point here before we shoot up. We may drop down to this price point here before we shoot up or remain range out and then shoot up. But if the news that comes out that's not in favor of the USD, we could have price turnaround when we come down very, very, very strong. And then this area here start to range out, pathetic push up, then come down. Okay? Always remember, don't trade off the technical analysis, don't trade off the fundamentals. Bring an understanding of both to the table and then go ahead and make a decision. And allow the chart to leave you breadcrumbs on what to do. Okay? Because the candles are always going to tell you exactly what to do. Okay? Hope that information was helpful for you guys. Happy trading.